Christmas at Rawlinson End, Part 2. Uncle Otto gets blotto. During the night, the snow came and mattressed the vast acreage of Rawlinson End. The windows clouded and icicles hung, crystalline and lovely from old Scrotum's nose. From the drive, a jingling and a barking of giant schnauzers heralded the unexpected arrival of Uncle Otto, who, with his lederhosen, boots, and shoulder-length moustache, looked faintly distinguished. He yodeled for a while, taking constant swigs from a hip flask of schnapps, and began biting things, while his men in sombre grey with red, white and black armbands unloaded the great trunks of sausage. Sir Henry stared at Otto's knees and frowned. Otto's knees were tense and muscular, not unlike the face of a landlord when you have to explain that you've run out of grant and could he possibly wait till next term. Otto goose-stepped up the drive and, raising his right arm, barked, "Heil, carpet chewer!" Then, rudely brushing past Sir Henry, he kicked the door, which was open anyway, and with the assistance of 3 of his men and a tape measure, began immediately to measure the servants' heads. Now read on. Dot, 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 dot. Arbuthnot snuffed it, but nobody knows that yet, except you and I. So lie doggo for a bit, and with any luck we'll ruin the lunch. There was a terrific crash, and a brick smashed through the window of the family chapel. About the brick was wrapped a note which simply said, "Hello, I'm your new neighbour." Henry was plainly delighted.
"Seems a decent enough egg,"
he grunted.
"At least he didn't have the impertinence to present himself at the front door."
But who was he? Hubert was out on the icy tennis court practising serves with a neighbourly hedgehog, which didn't do the rackets much good, as the hedgehog, new to the game, kept dropping one. Meanwhile, in Soho, snug in Catharticles' Kazi Kebab and Curry House, Ralph's unnatural cousin, Harold Maynard, was stiffening up to order a real barbed wire bun burner. "I say, we say, just for starters, tandoori koipyu, sag gosht, that's a 33 or 47, and a spot of 69, if I can get enough gin down you." A chap merits a good Bombay duck, what, after taking a chap-ass out for a blowout? He smirked to the porcelain young thing he was so desperately trying to impress. She duh, and wondered opaquely what all this was going to cost her in terms of flesh. "Stand up the fellow who hasn't got an Arthur Rackham pinned on his blasted wall, eh?" Porcelain thing remained mute. Perry knew lots about art. Manny and Monny, the Jewish boys, Pissarro, the Irishman, Van Gogh, who lent his name to a wine to buy canvas, Picasso, who suffered from piles, Machiavelli, the amazing Scottish-Italian impressionist, bird impressions, he ate worms, people impressions, he ate birds, etc., he ate badgers. In Southampton, Ralph was going through customs. Mostly nasty, sticky stuff he'd picked up in the tropics. The one involving the ritual use of goiters was especially horrid. The tropics, damn 'em. Murderous, yet curiously magnetic. Already he missed them. Collecting and studying the myriad Corridorus catfish and their legion barbed brothers in the steaming waters of the Orinoco was scarcely work for a milksop. He smiled grimly, and his shorts flapped majestically over his blunt, honest knees. Those whiskery rascals. But getting hold of the blighters, he'd swam rapids, wrestled anacondas, and she's a big girl, and still came back to the bar, covered in gore, dressed as John Wayne, to ask, "Where was that blasted Eskimo woman he had to skin?" ? Through sheer brute understanding, he'd forced the affections of savage headhunters and their wonderful families. Cravat high in rivers shimmering with piranha, swift, vicious fishes that can reduce a man to a Giacometti skeleton in seconds. The leeches, the mosquitoes, David Attenborough. He shuddered to think of it. But here he was. He'd got through. And yet, even in the liner's tiny blue-tiled swimming pool, he still carried a great curved knife in his excellent teeth for his daily plunge, often reeking and sometimes causing compulsory acupuncture amongst the water wings and floating couches. Meantime, young John has discovered some ancient poppadums that Sir Henry had brought back from Bombay, and insists on playing them as loudly as possible on the wind-up gramophone. But Otto has put a stop to that. The acoustics in the bathroom were außergewöhnlich, and Otto spent a lot of time practicing his tuba technique in preparation for the grand luncheon. Tomorrow, Arbuthnot's fate revealed. Sanders' feet reviled. The arrival of Candice. Otto discovers My Lifebuoy soap in the downstairs bathroom, and Henry starts a fish war. Ralph arrives, and Justin thinks of a novel and amusing way to inflate balloons. Also, more about than usual.